In this episode, we are revisiting the third largest city in Spain, Valencia, the city of arts and sciences, and we are taking you with us exploring this city. Firstly, we go to the beautifully decorated train station, which is next to the bullring, and we even take you inside the bullring and to the toilet, which is just one of the funny stories in this episode. Then it's on to the tuk-tuk ride with us all over the city. We go through the city gates, across the stunning flower bridge to the world-famous Arts and Science Museum before arriving at the marina where the 2007 America's Cup was held. Come with us as we tell you about a great day trip you can do to the popular Port Saplaya and Beach, which is known as Valencia's Little Venice. We share where you can take a boat ride through the Albufera Natural Park and explore El Saler Beach, which I actually tell you a story about Lyle being completely smashed and dumped in the surf. It was really funny. Listen as we dance the night away at a local salsa club. Well, we had a go at dancing salsa anyway. To this day, it remains one of our favourite memories of not just Valencia, but Spain. Now, stay listening to the end to hear all about the Spanish Elvis that was our entertainment for our last night in Valencia, and you'll even get to hear him sing a little bit of Viva Espana. So much fun and so much to see in Valencia, so please enjoy episode 99. Welcome back to the Beach Travel Wine Podcast. Hello, darling.
Buenos dias, mi amor.
As you can tell by Lyle's, perfecting his Spanish, we are back in Spain today and we are visiting the third biggest city in España, which is?
Valencia.
True, Valencia. So tell us a bit about Valencia, honey.
We travelled from Tarragona to Valencia. It was about a 3-hour train trip. It was about $60 each. And we arrived at the Estacio de Nord, central to the old town.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful train station.
Sure, it opened in 1852.
Yeah.
It is. It's an amazing train station. You probably do the best description. So.
Well, it just has some areas of mosaic tile work. There's one area that is just all the walls, the floors, the ceiling are completely covered with these beautiful ceramic tiles and depicting, the history around Valencia as well as, at the train station when it was built and that sort of stuff. And it's just, people just go to look at the tile work in the train station. So we arrived there. It was a hot day.
Yeah, the building is actually one of the main works of Valencia Art Nouveau and was declared Good of Culture Heritage in 1987.
Yeah, I can see why they would declare it Good of Culture.
Sure.
We went to our apartment, which was a really nice apartment, not too far from the train station in the old town. We weren't in Valencia for too long, so we wanted to get as much in as we could. And back to the train station. Right next door to the train station is the Plaza de Toros, which is the bullring.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest in Spain, and it's still in use. And we were lucky enough to go in there on a Sunday, and it was free. Hey? Bonus. Yes.
Yeah, it was a bit of an education. We'd never actually been inside a bullring before.
No, we hadn't. It was built between 1850 and 1859, and apparently they got the inspiration to build it from the Colosseum in Rome. Did you know that?
Yes, I did, because you mentioned that to me this morning.
It is a 48-sided polygon, and it has 384 external arches, so no wonder it looks impressive, right?
Yeah. And apparently there's two different prices to go to see the bullfights. One is the lower price is you sit in the sun, and
fair enough.
And the dearer price is you have shade. So
not much shade in those bull rings. I wouldn't have thought.
Well,
Yeah. Oh well, I know where the shade was.
Where?
In the toilets.
Yes, Leanne. Yeah.
I was pretty impressed. I've never been to a toilet in a bullring before. It's tucked in there underneath.
Yeah, she got a special surprise when the water flushed.
Yes, it did. It actually flushed. But it's also it is an active bullring, I guess. That's what you call it. But it also is like a museum.
Sure.
So inside, around under the outside of the seats, inside the actual bullring itself, there's the history of all the bulls and the bullfighters, and
lots of colourful posters, I suppose.
Yeah. So that was we actually really enjoyed that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So after we unloaded our stuff in our beautiful apartment, which was really close to the markets in Valencia, we decided to go for a walk, just to explore, as we do. And not far from our place, we found this beautiful building. We had no idea what it was, and yeah, you want to tell us all about that, don't you, Donna?
Yeah, well, it's actually the Silk Exchange. It was built between 1482 and 1533.
So what's a Silk Exchange?
Well, basically, it's a trading hall.
Yeah.
And there was three parts to the building. There was the trading hall, which was what we walked into.
Yeah. So did people bring their silk there and trade for other stuff?
Yeah.
Or people bought silk and they traded, like that's how it worked?
Yeah,
like
it was a trading, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now, one of the other parts of the building is actually the bank, which makes sense. And then there's obviously, with anything Spanish, there's a church within the precinct as well.
So when was it built again, honey?
It was built between 1482 and 1533.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece of late Gothic architecture.
How beautiful was it?
Oh, look, it was outstanding. It had the
main room, I remember, just was decorated so beautifully. I had no idea that's what it was when we were looking in it. The timber and the tiles and the decoration in that main hall.
The interior with three main aisles is covered by a series of cross vault and resting on slender helical pillars almost 16 metres high. Now, helical means like spiral. For instance, an example would be a spiral staircase, but these were columns, and the actual
16 metres high.
Yeah, and they were just spiral, like a corkscrew, and that was magnificent. And beautiful marble floors. We were actually very, very taken back by it.
Yeah, we loved that, didn't we? And we walked around that for a while, and as you said, there's three main parts to it, but the outside of it as well, had lots of decoration on it. That was a nice little surprise, and that's just there in the old town, isn't it?
Yeah, well, just to give you a bit of history of Valencia itself, seeing we're talking about old stuff.
Okay.
It was founded as a Roman colony in 130 BC. Islamic rule and a culturalization began in the 8th century.
Sorry, 130 BC?
130 BC.
Wow, okay.
Aragonese Christian conquest took place in 1238. So that's pretty old.
Yeah, and as I said before, it's Spain's third biggest city.
Correct.
Yeah, so, and we decided then the next day we would do a tuk-tuk tour, because we quite like those, and the way the little tuk-tuk can get in and around the streets of the old town. And we learned a lot that day, but probably the thing to start the tour was the city gates. Yeah,
the Serrano Towers, and they were built in 1392.
But there's 12 of them, isn't there?
Correct.
Gates, right.
Yeah,
so they're all called Serrano Towers.
No, the Torres de Serrano is one of the 12 gates that formed part of the ancient city wall.
So there's one gate that the royals used to walk through, and the others were for the...
and that's the Serranos. Okay, that's
the royal one.
For the royal one, yeah.
We had a little duck through there, didn't we?
We did. You were queen for a day?
Yes. 10 minutes. And so they're quite impressive.
Miss World, so...
They're quite impressive, aren't they? The city gates are in the old wall around the city, aren't they? So we drove through those, hopped off, had a look, and
just one thing.
Yes.
The Serrano Towers from 1586 to 1887, the towers were used as a prison for nobles. Like, that's 300 years. It was used as a prison.
They weren't that big.
No, they must have been little people.
Well, there weren't too many of them for nobles.
Maybe.
Prison for nobles. Okay. And some of them had the big doors on them still too, you know, so they had archways.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So they could open and close it.
So you can walk all the way around the city wall and look at these city gates. There's, they're pretty impressive. So that's how we started our tuk-tuk tour. And then one of my favourite things was going across the Puente de las Flores, or the Flower Bridge. And it's not a big bridge, but it basically takes you from the old city into the new part of town. And this bridge has 27,000. Now, I don't know who counted them. That's what the tuk-tuk guy told me, and I double-checked it. But 27 different plants. So I think they're all in pots. And can you imagine that? 27,000 of all different sorts, all different colours. And they change them every season. So it's one of those things that's really beautiful all year round, and it takes you, as I said, from where we were on the old town, the city gates, into the new part of town, where we headed to the next spot. We stopped on the tuk-tuk tour.
I just thought of something. Maybe they could have that particular question of how many flowers there are on that bridge as a trivia question. At the local pub.
Which local pub? Here?
No, over there.
In Valencia. Yeah. We don't have local pubs.
No, that's a fair call.
But now we know, and you know too, people listening, if you ever get asked how many flowers, or plants on that flower bridge in Valencia, you will know how many. Was it, Lyle?
I've forgotten already. But it was, look, seriously, it was absolutely beautiful.
27,000, actually. Next stop on our tuk-tuk tour was pretty damn impressive, wasn't it? It was the Arts and Science Museum, which is very, very well known in Spain, and it's one of the reasons, or so often the reason, people go to Valencia itself, isn't it? And you're going to tell us a bit about that, because you were pretty blown away by all the facts and things, weren't you?
Yeah. It was finished in 1998. It covers around 2 kilometres of the former riverbed of the River Turia, which was drained and rerouted after the floods of 1957. It's made up of 4 main areas. It's the planetarium, the museum, and gardens, and the oceanarium.
And just before you go on, that drained riverbed is actually like a walkway, green area, parklands all the way around as well. So, Look, it really is impressive. We were it just appears, and its design resembles an eyelid that opens to access the surrounding water pools. The bottom of the pool is glass, creating the illusion of the eye as a whole. I didn't know that, and now that you've said that, it makes sense, because, I can see it as an eye. Yeah, well, the planetarium is called L'Hemisphérique,
and it's a half sphere in a concrete structure. It's 110 metres long and 55 metres wide.
This is the planetarium, did you say?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
that's just part of it.
Yeah, and within that there's an IMAX cinema, the planetarium, and a laserium.
Okay, so just tell me again. We've got the Arts and Science Museum, which along with that we have the planetarium. What was the other thing you said? It's like
the gardens, and also
the aquarium.
The aquarium, or oceanarium.
And then also it has some floors of as well. Like you said, there's like 2 or 3 floors, isn't there?
Yeah. So the museum is called the Museo de las Ciencias. Yeah, Principe Felipe. It's an interactive museum of science that resembles the skeleton of a whale.
Okay.
The building is 42,000 square metres, of which 26,000 square metres is exhibition space, making it the largest in Spain.
Yeah.
So
they've got lots of interactive, sciencey stuff in there, don't they? On the different floors.
correct.
Yeah.
So that was impressive, and then I'm not going to try and pronounce the gardens.
No, don't do that. Just say the beautiful gardens.
The beautiful gardens, an open structure enveloping a landscape walk with plant species indigenous to Valencia.
And we walked all through that. That was nice. It had lots of palm trees, didn't it?
Yeah.
And shrubs and,
and the plants were carefully picked to change colour with each season.
Oh, so they got the flower bridge and the dry riverbed, which is now a garden, and the gardens there. So I guess the climate is pretty nice for growing things there. So and the oceanarium's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the largest of its type in Europe, spanning 110,000 square metres. It has 45,000 animals from 500 different species, including sharks, penguins, dolphins, sea lions, walruses, beluga whales, bird and reptiles. The marine areas are arranged into the Mediterranean, Arctic Ocean, islands, the tropics, and the temperate seas and the Red Sea. So
there's something there for everybody, isn't there? You know, so the buildings themselves are fascinating. Like one's the skeleton of the whale, and the other's an eyeball. And with that pond in the middle of the eyeball, when we were there, and they change it all the time, they had sculptures. Didn't they?
Yeah, that was really impressive.
So they have a lot of modern art sculptures around the place as well. So just even if you don't go in the building, you can wander around the outside and through the gardens and have a look. It was really impressive, and I personally would like to go back and have another explore around there because I think it's definitely worth spending more time at.
I think the contrast between the old town and the architecture to this new modern city was just incredible.
I guess it's a little bit like the Guggenheim in Bilbao.
Absolutely.
Brought a lot of tourists to the area, and it's just so out there compared to the old town. And this one's a bit the same, but it's not out of place.
No, not at all. It's and obviously it was mainly built to encourage tourism.
Yeah, of course, it's great. So then we hopped on our little tuk-tuk again, off we went, and we went towards the beach. And we ended up at the port of America's Cup Marina because the America's Cup was held in Valencia in 2007. So there's a big viewing platform there where obviously people stood to watch the finish or the start, whatever. I don't even know where they start and finish, but that's where the viewing platform is. And there's a big long area there at the marina, and because Valencia apparently is one of the windiest cities in Spain, they told us. So it's really good for sail racing.
Yeah, I've actually experienced it.
The wind,
yeah,
in Valencia.
Yeah, and the rough seas.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Yeah. So there's a big long beach area there as well, but that marina where the America's Cup was, lots of yachts and restaurants and stuff there. That was really nice. And then we tuk back into the old town and ended up at the the cathedral of Valencia, didn't we?
Basilica of the Assumption of Our Lady of Valencia.
Oh, I like their long names, don't they?
Yeah, and it was consecrated in 1238.
What does that mean? Like opened or?
Basically the Pope,
did his thing.
Yeah, says, stamp of approval.
Okay, right.
Okay. The defining element of the Gothic architecture is the pointed arches.
They were pointed, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's beautiful. But the funny thing is that they say, legend has it, that the Holy Grail is...
Stop it.
No, seriously, they say, there's no real evidence, but they do say that the chalice, or the Holy Grail, which is the chalice, that our Lord drank out of at the Last Supper, and supposedly St. Peter collected his blood at the crucifixion, is locked away in the Valencia.
You had kept that little secret up your little
I know.
sleeve.
I couldn't help it. I knew. I knew. But they also say within everything that I googled that
there's no proof.
Yeah,
but let's go with it. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
It's a little bit like St James being buried in.
Stop it.
Where is
People
it?
walk 800 kilometres to go there for that reason, so don't spoil it.
Yeah, okay, but there's no real proof. But anyway, here we go.
So, but the thing I loved about the cathedral is it's huge, but it's a nice plaza in front of it, and there was always sort of some music and people doing flamenco and singing and the drum playing and stuff. There's a whole lot of activity around the cathedral, either of whatever you said. Valencia, My Lady.
Basilica of the Assumption of Our Lady of Valencia. Yeah. There is a Spanish pronunciation of that, but you've warned me not to do it.
I thought that was Spanish.
No. Just a basilica.
Just the way you're saying it in your Spanish.
Yeah.
Your Spanish accent. So we loved the tuk-tuk tour, didn't we?
Yeah. It was well worth taking.
The price of admission?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. We were lucky enough when we were in Valencia to meet up with some people. They were friends of some Spanish friends from Australia that we knew, Ilom and Maria.
Yep.
Yeah, and they picked us up in the morning and took us on a day trip, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And we went not far from Valencia, thank goodness. And we ended up at a really little popular spot for locals, and a lot of locals live there as well, called Port Saplaya. And it's a beach area which has like canals and colourful houses, and it used to be an old seaport. And it's actually, they call it Valencia's little Venice, didn't they? And it was beautiful walking around you can go in around the port area where all the coloured houses are and the little boats and things. You know, they don't have the gondolas, but, you know, they've got little boats tied up. It was really pretty. And then at the front of that is the beach, where they have restaurants and shops and tropical gardens. And, it's really beautiful, isn't it?
I was pretty impressed, I've got to say.
It used to be an old seaport, and they exported chufa, which are actually called tiger nuts. Did you know that? That's my little surprise for the
Tiger nuts.
They're made into horchata, which is a traditional drink which you drink cold. So we didn't try it, but apparently we should have, because it's really nice. So,
tiger nuts, eh?
Tiger nuts.
Tiger nut juice.
Is that like? Anyway, let's go there. So that's Port Saplaya, which is, you know, one of the things that when you look at Valencia, they say, you know, where should you go for a day trip and what should you see? That's certainly what we'd recommend. And then Ilom and Maria took us to La Albufera Parque Natural, which is a natural park that we went to, and it's best explored by boat.
Boat, yes. Yeah. It's a freshwater lagoon and estuary. The natural biodiversity of the nature reserve allows a great variety of flora and fauna.
Well,
that's what the book says.
That's what the book says. Well, they were rice fields.
Yeah.
Because you said, they had like weeds. I'm like, no, they were rice fields.
Yeah,
so,
but that just shows how...
I mean, it was lovely, but, you know, when you come from Australia and you've got, like, you know, the most amazing national natural parks, it's, it's not that big a deal. We enjoyed it. Didn't we? But,
it was a pleasant ride on a boat.
Yeah, in a shady boat, which was nice. So, but that's right there near Port Saplaya, so, you know, it's easy to do. And then the highlight of the day for me was going to Albufera Beach. And it's about 13 kilometres south, and they describe it as windswept and natural, and it's 6 kilometres in length. And Lyle and Ilom decided they were going to go for a swim, and Lyle was first in, and Ilom was just watching, and it looked a bit rough to me. I wasn't going to go in, and I was videoing Lyle, and he went in, and I lost sight of him, and he turned up probably, I don't know, 50 metres down the beach, rolling around and pulling sand out of his butt, and you know, he got dumped pretty pretty bad, didn't you? And,
Yeah. It was certainly windswept. Lived up to its reputation.
And
I actually got a fright, to be honest. I swim most days. So I'm a reasonably good swimmer. But I went in and it got me, and there was a bit of an undertow. And
if you want to see how funny it is, you can go to our Instagram and go to the story highlights and swipe across to Valencia. Yeah, you'll see Lyle
getting out of the water, telling Elon.
That's right. He couldn't.
I was screaming to Elon, "Don't you get in that water! It's crazy."
Yeah, because he said
and he's looking at me as that so there's no way no one was getting in that water.
Yeah, no, we didn't get in there either.
No, so I was the only stupid one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can say I did it.
Yeah, it was a nice day trip though.
They were very nice people, and they really looked after us. And that's not the end of the day,
wasn't it?
No, we went out that night. Remember?
Oh, did we? But we did go out that night. But this time though, I have to say, it was a little bit dicey on the roads for me. You know, like I'm a bit of an anxious passenger, and when you're driving with like a P-plater that hasn't been driving long, it was a bit, I was a bit nervous.
Yeah. Though, I agree. I probably wasn't as concerned about the driving as you were, because I was still trying to get over Nelly being drowned, and the fact that you were laughing
at you.
Yeah, as I got out of the water.
Because Lyle, he's this big-time ocean swimmer. I swim marathon, like for tries, and I can do this and I can do that, and then he's tumbling around like a...
It was like being in a washing machine. But anyway, I wasn't going to mention, any of that other stuff. But, as I said, a little bit disappointing that my wife...
Found it
so funny that I nearly drowned. But anyway.
Never mind. So, nighttime.
Yeah, nighttime.
We headed out with, once again, Ilom and Maria, and this time Ilom's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name?
You can say that. Because it's a-hole? No. What?
Did you say a-hole?
No. I go e-hole and you go, it's not e-hole.
That's what a donkey says.
Yeah. What?
You always calls me that. So, Jorge. Which is Spanish for George.
And he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he was an architect.
He was an architect, and he wasn't a very good driver either. Anyway, they took us to the Aquarela Beach Club, and that is right on the beach in the main beach area in Valencia, and it is known for its dance clubs. And this one we went to was a salsa club, and we thought we were a bit salsa dancers, didn't we? We knew a few steps.
Yeah, we went to one class before we went over.
We did. But oh my gosh, it was an eye-opener. This room was packed full of people of all ages, a lot of young people, but a lot of older people too. And they were just there to dance,
Yeah.
And as bad as Jorge's driving skills were, his dancing skills were amazing.
Yeah. He was...
he teaches salsa in France.
Yeah, he lives in France and teaches salsa in France. Look, I thought it was amazing. We got there because they actually have lessons before they sort of open the club for open air. And we couldn't do the lesson. Well, Leanne could have, but I couldn't because you change partners like all dance schools sort of thing. And because I can't speak Spanish, I wouldn't have been able to, understand what the teacher was saying, and certainly wouldn't have been able to introduce myself to the lady. So we just sat back and watched.
The thing that was really impressive was, though, they're there to dance.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all sort of wanting to dance with the best dancers. So you've got young guys dancing with the older women, like 30s, 40s, and like they're just there to enjoy themselves and dance. They're not getting on the wine or the beer. I think
Leanne and I were the only two that had a drink the entire night.
They were drinking water and stuff. But to say it was one of the sexiest things I've ever seen is not an understatement.
It was just incredible how they did it. Like,
but it wasn't offensive.
No, but what I couldn't believe is you'd have.
Yes. What?
What's his name?
Oh, Jorge.
Jorge would go out into the outskirts of the dance floor, and he'd just stand there. And
the girls
would just come up and basically introduce themselves and say, do you want to dance? And this was going on everywhere. It wasn't just with him. It was astonishing. And then they just dance. And, of course, the better you could dance, and he was spectacular at it, the more ladies came up because they wanted to dance with a good dancer. And,
I know that feeling.
Oh, really? I haven't noticed that.
That I want to dance with a good dancer.
Was that before we got married? But anyway, it was incredible, and the music was fabulous, and we would, bop it along.
We got up and had a crack at it.
Yes, we did. At the very end, we'd had enough to drink.
Nobody came and asked us to dance with us.
No. I don't know whether that was because of our dancing ability or we were the two oldest people there.
Probably.
It may be both. One of those or both.
It was one of those nights that we'll always remember.
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
And just that sort of Aquarela Beach area, this is the salsa club. Not far up the beach is the actual Aquarela nightclub. So, and it was going off too when we left. The lights were flashing and stuff. So that's where you want to go for nightlife. We headed back home, and the nightlife after that we sat outside and had a drink before we went.
We had a lovely dinner, a paella dinner. And Valencia is the home of paella, so they say. And it is recognised right throughout Spain as the best paella. And we had a beautiful dinner, and we had spectacular live entertainment.
We did.
Yeah.
And once again, go and check it out on Instagram stories. It was Valencia's answer to Elvis, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And he was miming and singing and doing, not miming, doing a bit of lip sync and chucking his own singing in there, doing, and got his...
Viva Espana. I think that's the only song he knows. But...
And he had, big sideburns and... He was hilarious, wasn't it? So that was
yeah. I don't think he makes much money, but...
So that was a fabulous night out, just full of fun stuff and entertainment,
Yeah, so thanks, guys, for taking us.
And as we do on each episode, we talk about where was our favourite place to have a vino. So I bet I know where Lyle's is. Where is it?
The salsa club.
Yeah, so Aquarela Salsa Club.
Yeah, it was just, the atmosphere was just fabulous. The music, you couldn't help but, toe tap. Yeah, it was just to see how good they can dance. Incredible. And the guys, it's not like Australia where the guys stand around and just watch the girls dance. The guys were incredible too. So yeah, that'd be my favourite.
Okay. And I think mine was watching, well, there too, but I can't have the same as you because that'd be boring, was watching the Spanish Elvis. It was just, we were sitting out in the plaza, just outside our apartment. It was a nice little area where there's lots of other restaurants and tables out. It's just got that real Spanish atmosphere going on, and just sitting there and watching him having a bit of a sing-along and a bit of a giggle. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. So as I've said previously, if you would like to see the photos and show notes that go with this episode, our website is www.beachtravelwine.com. So go there and have a look, or at Instagram at Beach Travel Wine. And as I said, go up to the stories and swipe across to Valencia, and you'll see the tuk-tuk tour. You'll see we went to the museum Lyle was talking about, the science one, the cathedral. Did I say the Spanish Elvis? The salsa club, and Lyle being tumbled around in the water.
And the railway station.
Oh, yeah, the railway station. So, yeah, go see it. And the bullring. And the toilet flushing in the bullring. That's quite funny.
Yeah.
And so go and have a look. And another thing... we're actually loving doing this podcasting, aren't we? We're having a lot of fun doing it, and we listen to a lot of podcasts ourselves, and often I listen to podcasts and the podcasters say, do us a favour and go and give us a 5-star rating or do a review, and You know, I never used to do that until I started podcasting, because I realised what a difference it makes to being found and people being able to find your show. We haven't asked you before, but if you could take the time to go, you know, either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on the app you listen to, and just give us a 5-star or a review, we'd really appreciate it. Or share the podcast with someone you think might like it.
So what you're really saying, you only want reviews that are 5-star?
You can give us a less if you like, but that would be a bit disappointing.
We'd probably cry.
Yeah, we would. I'd have to have another glass of wine. Anyway, thanks for listening, and hasta luego.
Adios, amigos.